Welcome to the Shabbat. All right, this is Sabbath Class. We're going to go over some things today. We're going to get into the mental health problems of Israel. All right, Israel, a lot of Israelites are facing depression in different states, different countries, about different things. So we're going to go ahead and touch on the scriptures on how things were dealt with in the scriptures dealing with mental health. A depressive state of mind. Okay? And basically, when you look at some of the people who are, some of our people that are suffering, they're suffering from depression, schizophrenia, anxiety, bipolarism. And when you look at certain things like schizophrenia is clinician defined as a separation between emotion and thought. So a lot of our brothers have that problem in the world. They can't separate their emotions from the thought. So they act on the emotions before they even think about it. So we got to figure out, how do we keep our brothers from going out there and doing stupid things? They got to come back to the scriptures. It's simple. And when you look at depression, the definition of depression is basically depressing or being depressed. It's a hollow or low place. In other words, low spirits. Okay? So low spirits don't say spirit, it says spirits. So most people who have depressive thoughts, depressing thoughts, they're normally in a low place in their life. That's a form of depression. Okay? Then you have anxiety, which is a worry or weariness about things that may happen. But you're already thinking about what's going to happen before it happens, and you're stressing about it. That's what anxiety is. So in order to fix that, you got to go into the scriptures. Okay, we got brothers with bipolarism, you know, and they say bipolar like you got a polar bear in you, right? Can't control that polar bear. So it's like half of your mind want to do one thing and the other half want to do another. It's basically a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde action going on. And you see that with a lot of our dope dealers, a lot of our drug influenced people, you know, they act crazy, you know, and they get these nicknames that follow what they do, okay, on the streets. So instead of knowing triggers that cause these effects and stopping them, we add to them. So some of the triggers, some things that can be stopped are basically just on foods alone that we're eating, or cigarettes that we're smoking, or drugs that we're inducing. A lot of these things are the triggers to what cause us to go off, okay? And a lot of others just got to get willpower to stop it, okay? So let's go to Colossians chapter 3, verse 17. And this is going out to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered abroad, Shabbat Shalom. And we're going to go to, again I say, Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem or Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Abba Yahweh by Him. So everything we do is by the Father and the Son. Okay? Let's go to John. I want to open up with John, 1 John. Let's go to 1 John 1 and chapter 1 to 6, verse 6. Can everybody hear me okay? Everybody hear me okay out there? Okay, come. And shalom to the brothers coming online. This is 1 John chapter 1, verse 6. It says, if we say we have fellowship with Him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. Okay? We do not have the truth if we lie. Okay? This says, but if we walk in the light, as He is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. Okay? And the blood of Mashiach Yahushua, His Son, cleanses us from all of sin. So this is how we're going to cleanse ourselves from sin, from following the ways of Mashiach. So we have to follow the ways that He did, right? And we talked about that the other night. Okay? So as mental health, we got to ask ourselves this. Is a mental illness, is it a sin according to the Bible? Is it a sin according to the Bible? This is a question we have to ask ourselves. Because a lot of people who come into the truth may have mental illnesses and may actually think may actually think that it's a sin. Okay? And the answer is no. Okay? All mental illnesses are not sins. Okay? And we're going to go into the demonic side of it as well. So let's go to, let's find an answer in the Bible regarding the illness. So we're going to use the scriptures to find out how our brothers are dealing with this. We're going to go to, first we're going to go to the Gospel of John, chapter 9. Gospel of John, chapter 9. Okay, this is John, chapter 9, verse 1. And as Hamashiach Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? So the disciples already know. They said, hey, who sinned in this man's life in order for him to be blind? Was it his parents or was it him? Okay, so listen to the answer. It says, verse 3, Yahushua answered, neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of the Most High should be made manifest in him. This is why I said that all mental illness are not demonic, okay? Not all. So in this particular cause, Hamashiach is telling you the purpose of these illnesses is to address them. You got to address them while we're here in this earth, because Hamashiach is still with us, okay? And it's basically to show his power, all right? It says, so I mean, when you really think about it, by correction, to be an example, it's basically a correction to be an example also to the people that's around this person, or around you. You know what I mean? To show you that his power is still in the earth. Okay, of healing. Let's go to John chapter 9, verse 40. John chapter 9, verse 40. So it says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. See? So is Hamashiach's light in the world right now? Is the Most High's light of the Hamashiach who left his residue here? Yes. We still got the light. I mean, we're reading the scriptures all the time. This is the light. We all know that the Bible is the light. So yes, his light is still in the world. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle. And he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. He just spit on the ground, took some clay, and put it on this man's eyes. Did he have to do that? No, he didn't have to do this. He could have just spoke the words and the man would have been healed. But for the unfaithful and the unbelieving, sometimes you have to show with physical actions in order to get someone to build up their faith. Because people don't believe everything you say. You say something and it happens, they don't believe it. Right? There's a lot of people that will, but there's a lot that won't, even in the truth. So you may have to do something extra just so that person knows that it came from the Father. Okay? It says, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle. And he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. And said unto him, go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation sent. He went his way, therefore, and washed, and came seeing. So this man did what he said. He had faith. He went and he washed. He didn't have to do that. He could have cursed out Mashiach. He could have walked off and washed it somewhere else. But he followed what he said. It says, the neighbors, therefore, and they which before had seen him, that he was blind, said, is not this he that sat and begged? So who was this a light to also? To the people that knew this blind man. So the people that knew the blind man, now they're seeing the light, they're seeing the faith. What did this blind man have to do in order to be healed? You got to ask yourself that. Not only did he follow through, he changed. This man changed his life by following Hamashiach to the Father. I said, some said, this is he. Others said, he is like him. But he said, I am he. I'm the one that was blind. Therefore said they unto him, how were thy eyes open? Now they ask the question. How did your eyes get open? He answered and said, a man that is called Hamashiach made clay and anointed mine eyes, and said unto me, go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And I went and washed, and I received sight. This man was an Israelite. Hamashiach healed an Israelite. This was not any other nation. This was an Israelite nation. Verse 12. Then said they unto him, where is he? He said, I know not. This is just like us today. We say, hey, I'm trying to heal you in the name of Bahashim Mashiach Yahushua. You know, Abanaw Yahweh Bahashim Mashiach Yahushua. People gonna say, well, where is it? Where's the Hamashiach? How do you believe? Why do you have believe in such a faith? He's still here. I mean, so he's showing us the same type of example. Okay? It says, they brought to the Pharisee him that aforetime was blind. And it was the Sabbath day when Hamashiach made the clay and opened his eyes. So this is why I tell you, Shabbat Shalom, and this is a very important day. All of miracles that Hamashiach did was on the Sabbath day. Think about that. Why did he choose the Sabbath day? What are we supposed to do on the Sabbath day? We're supposed to fast and pray all day. It strengthens your spirit. So on this day, Hamashiach was outside and he healed somebody on the what? On the Shabbat. Okay? Then again, the Pharisee also asked him how he had received the sight. He said unto them, he put clay upon mine eyes, and I washed and do see. Therefore it said some of the Pharisees were the priests or the pastors then, this man is not of the Most High because he keepeth not the Sabbath day. See, they said, this man ain't of the Most High. He don't keep the Sabbath day. You're not supposed to be out there doing what he's doing. You're not supposed to be praying over people out there. All right? You can still pray over people. You just don't pray for your own glory. You can pray over people. Pull them into a corner and pray over them on the Sabbath day. You know? Others said, how can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them. So you had people disagreeing with what had happened on this day. He broke the law. He broke the Sabbath day law. He ain't supposed to be healing. Right? But they missing the whole point. This was of the Most High. They all knew this man was blind. So when you look at depression and anxiety and schizophrenia and bipolarism, this is the truth. There's a lot of other hidden things in this parable. You know, that's what we have to understand. A lot of hidden key points in this passage. So we got to look at one. He did not sin on this day of the Shabbat. Two, because you can do charity on the Shabbat. Charity is to help your brother. All right, that's what you can do on the Shabbat, charity. And two, his family wanted to know how he received the sight. Three, even the Pharisees or the pastors were shocked that this man was healed. Okay? It was a man changing to keep the Sabbath. This man also changed to keep the Sabbath as well. He was trying to keep the Sabbath as well. So I mean, we got to look at these things. Let's go to John 9:31. It says, now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners. So was this man a sinner after talking with Hamashiach? Did he not believe on the Father? Did he not believe on the Son? Did he not believe? No, he believed. Once you step into that arena and you start believing, now you have to do the work. You got to start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. This man believed. Look at verse, and this is what the Pharisees were saying actually. But look at John 9:31. Now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshiper of the Most High and doeth his will, he'll be here. So, did Hamashiach do his will? Yeah. He provided charity. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 13. This is how you're going to heal these demons and these spirits and these illnesses on the Shabbat. This is how you're going to do it. The Shabbat has a lot of power. Man. That's why we're supposed to rest. Our body is healing on this day. And we are in line with the Most High. Look at 1 Corinthians 13 and 13. And now abideth faith, which that man had. Hope, he had hope that he would be healed. Charity, this is what Hamashiach provided. These three. But the greatest of these three is charity. See? Love your brother as you love yourself, which is the second greatest commandment. Okay? That's what charity is. Let's go down to chapter 14, verse 1. Same book, Corinthians. This is 1 Corinthians 14, verse 1. It says, follow after charity, meaning love your brother as you love yourself, and desire spiritual gifts. What did Yahushua provide? A spiritual gift to heal this man. Okay? It says, follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts, but rather that ye may prophesy. What are we prophesying about? That the Most High sent the Son to redeem us. That the Most High is going to redeem us with the mighty hand of Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay? He's going to redeem us from our enemies. So that's what charity is. Let's go to, and when I talk about the moon, the Sabbath day, the Sabbath day, there's two Sabbaths. All right, there's a Sabbath, there's a 7-day weekly Sabbath, which is what we're keeping right now, and then there's the new moon Sabbath, okay, which comes in once a month, okay, and that's normally sometimes on the weekly Sabbath, sometimes it's not. September is coming up, the 7th month. I believe the next new moon is going to be on the 13th, okay. So that's considered a Sabbath, and it's like a Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe, something like that. That's sundown. So the moon represents wisdom, and the sun represents understanding. Okay, so we got to consider when the Hamashiach healed this man on the Shabbat, there was a healing of wisdom. He understood. He had wisdom of understanding the Shabbat, or even the new moon Shabbat. Let's go to Luke chapter 14. Luke chapter 14. And we want to go to Luke chapter 14, verse 2. I'll start at 1, because it's talking about the Sabbath. It says, and it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day. So what was he eating on the Sabbath day? Bread. And it was the Sabbath day. That these Pharisees watched him. And behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsies, you know, kind of like Tourette's, where you just can't hold your body together, you just dropping, falling, you know. That's what the dropsies was, you know. This man had some kind of medical problem with him. He couldn't walk. All right, he couldn't walk for long. All right, verse 3. And Yahushua answered and spoke unto the lawyers and Pharisees. Who were the lawyers? The Levites. That's what Levi means, lawyers. It says, and Yahushua answered, spoke unto the lawyers, the Levites, and the Pharisees, saying, because when you look at the Pharisees, was not Paul a Pharisee? What tribe was Paul from? He was from the tribe of Benjamin. So that's why I said the lawyers and Pharisees. So you had 12 tribes of Israel who are actually Pharisees. Okay? In this particular case, there's only 3 tribes, Benjamin, Judah, and Levi. All right, so the lawyers and Pharisees saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? And they held their peace. And he took them and healed them and let them go. So on this particular case, a Sabbath day again, Hamashiach healed. So the reason why I'm bringing out this is because, like I said before, bipolarism, schizophrenia, all these different name bracket medical terms that these clinicians give, they're things that could be taken care of on a Sabbath day. You could be healed from this disease. You don't have to take their medicines, they're poisons. Let's go to Isaiah 30 and 26. Because a lot of their poisons have many side effects. You might have 26 side effects in one pill, which cause even more schizophrenia. You might take one for bipolarism and get schizophrenia from the side effects. You know, one demon latches onto another demon. All right? And I call it demon when it's coming from the doctor because it's a pill. And they know what they're doing when they give you those pills. They want you to get hooked. All right? This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 26. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 26. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold. How many days in a week? 7. As the light of 7 days in the day that the Most High bindeth up the breach of his people, and healeth the stroke of their wound. Okay, so the Most High is telling you the light of the moon shall be the light of the sun. All right, so the moon represents what again? Anybody who's listening? What does the moon represent? Anybody remember what the moon represents? Right, the moon represents wisdom, and the sun represents, right, the moon represents wisdom, and the sun represents what? Time. So the sun represents understanding. Okay? So we have to understand when we read the scriptures what these two do for us. Because a lot of the cycles of women are based on the new moon or a full moon. Okay? And the tides of the oceans based on the moon. The storms that happen around the earth sometimes is based on the moon. All right? So we have to understand this too. Let's go to Psalms chapter 104, verse 19. Psalms chapter 104, verse 19. He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. So, I mean, that's a little parable right there. He appointed the moon for what? Seasons. So this is how we know when our feast days are coming. Based on the moons. A lot of people believe that the moon is for the occult practices, but this is wrong. The Bible used the moon phases for holy days. Okay, that's what the moon was given. When you read Genesis, that's what it talks about. It's based on the Most High's feast days for signs. All right, not the signs of the heathen. When you read Jeremiah chapter 10, the heathen used it for occult days, but the new moon was meant for the true worshipers. The historical precepts, when you read the Bible, is for the true worshipers, and the true worshipers are the saints, who are the Israelites. Okay? When you look at the Native American Indians, even they used the new moon for healing. They knew when the new moon was coming in. They knew when to heal their own, all right, which would have tried again. All right? So it's going to be kept even in the coming kingdom. Let's go to... I want to bring out Psalms 81 and 3. Psalms chapter 81, verse 3. It says, blow up the trumpet in the new moon. So all you Israelites out there should have a shofar. Or like this big one, or even a little one. Okay? I got a little one too. Alright, so you should order your moon, because this is a law that we're supposed to do. Look at this. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. For this was the statute for Israel, and a law of the Most High of Jacob. This he ordained Joseph for a testimony, when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. Right now, we're in a land that's not our own language. So this trumpet, this was for the new moon. We blew up the trumpet to give prestige, and it's a memorial for the Most High, to let them know that we all still following the statutes. Okay? That's Psalms chapter 81, verse 3. Yes. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 46, verse 3. Ezekiel chapter 46, verse 3. I hope you guys are taking notes, because this is some good stuff. You know? And you want to, like I said, you're always going to write down these precepts, because you might have to use them again. Ezekiel, Ezekiel chapter 46, verse 3. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before the Most High in the Sabbath and in the new moon. So that gate is when we face the east. That's how we worship before the door of the Most High, by facing the east towards Jerusalem. And so it says in the Sabbaths, meaning plural, and then in the new moons, okay, which is also plural. So there's going to be many new moons that come throughout the year, 360 days. Okay, not 365, but 360 days. Esau added 5 days. Okay, so, and that's the Hebraic calendar. So that's what we're supposed to do. From these Sabbaths come a healing vibration that we have to understand. That's why you're supposed to rest on these days, because your body is actually healing from the week. You work hard all week long, busy doing Satan's work. You're supposed to be doing the Most High's work. You're supposed to rest on the Sabbath day. Okay? All throughout the week, you should be doing the Most High's work. But in this Edomite kingdom, this Babylonian kingdom, you're going to have to work for Satan in some kind of way. Unless you own your own business, but you still got to pay taxes to Satan, believe it or not. There's no way around it. You own a house, you got to pay taxes. You got a car, you got to pay taxes in your registration, you know, at the end of the year. You got to pay taxes. You got water, running water, you got to pay taxes unless you have your own well. Electricity, you got to pay taxes. Everything you pay taxes. You get gas at the gas pumps. There's taxes within that. You cross the toll booth where you pay your $5 or $6. There's taxes within that. You can't escape it. Okay? All of you are paying to Satan with Satan's money. All right? If you say that you don't pay taxes or pay Satan, you're a liar because you got his dollar bills in your pocket. Okay? All right, so ain't nobody exempt. That's why it says no man will save you. So how can brothers and sisters be helped with such conditions that doctors load you with, like these pills and poisons to cure? By first belief, changing, you got to keep the Sabbath, changing your diet nutritionally, change your thoughts from negative to positive using scriptures, because that's most of the problem with schizophrenia and bipolarism. You got to change your thoughts. You got to get control of those emotions. Sometimes it could be your environment. You got to think about that. Let's go to Mark chapter 8. You got to remember this land has been contaminated, right? Didn't he tell us all that there's a law that if you spill blood or you cause your daughter a prostitute, that the land becomes what? It becomes cursed. So all this land is cursed. When you see prostitutes in your city, that land is cursed. Although we know all America is cursed based on the blood that's been shed. But that's just adding sin on the land. Okay, when you see prostitution going on. All right, let's go to Mark chapter 8, verse 22. Let's see. Mark chapter 8, verse 22. This is one of my favorite verses. And he said unto them, I'll start 21. And he said unto them, how is it that you do not understand? Question. And he cometh to Bethesda, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. Who brought this blind man to Hamashiach? The disciples. This is like that blind man that, you pass by every day. That brother that, the mama and the daddy, this is their son, he can't feed himself. This is that blind man. All right? So the disciples brought him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. Why did he lead him out of the town? He led him out of the town because this town was cursed. So he took him out of the town. He took him out of that cursed place into another place. Like I always give the example of, he took him from Oakland, the city of Oakland, into the city of Alameda. Okay? All right, so it says that, and he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw out. He said, could you see out your eyes now? And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. So this man couldn't really focus. But he saw black men walking around with probably dreads and everything else, looking like trees. You know, that's what they say we look like, trees. After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes and made him look up. So he had to heal him twice, because the first time didn't work. Either Hamashiach was tired, or he'd been doing something else throughout that day where his power was fading a little bit. Or this man just didn't have the belief. That's another reason why you can't heal someone. If they don't believe, you're not going to be able to help them. Okay? Now, I take it off of Yahushua. I take that back. I put it on the man who he was talking to. His belief probably was sore. But once this man was able to see a little bit, his belief got stronger. Okay? It says, after that he put his hands again upon his eyes and made him look up. And he was restored and saw every man clearly. And he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town nor tell it to any of the town. And Yahushua went out and his disciples into the towns of Caesarea Philippi. And by the way, he asked the disciples, saying unto them, who do men that I am? Who do men say that I am? So this is a good one. I'm going to finish this. It says, and they answered, Yochanan the Baptist, but some say Elijah, and others one of the prophets. Okay, so here they are telling him who they think he is. And I brought this up before. Some think he's John the Baptist. Some think he's Elijah. Right? Some say he's one of the other prophets that lived before. So they know that there's regeneration in the Bible. All right? And he said unto them, but whom say you that I am? And Peter answered and saith unto him, thou art the Hamashiach. See, he knew in the spirit that this was the Hamashiach. Okay? And he charged them that they should tell no man of him. So he didn't want to be credited with this title, Hamashiach, at all. Okay? So that's what I mean by being humble. But going back to the schizophrenia, he pulled him out of the town in order to heal this man. Because sometimes your environment can cause you to fall. You figure if you're in the house and everybody's unbelievers, and they're playing rap music, cursing, smoking weed, you got dope dealers in your house, or you just got gossipers in your house, liars in your house. That's a bad environment, man. It's a bad environment for you to thrive in the truth. Because you're being weighed down with evil. You walk out your house, you're weighed down with evil. So when you go home, you're weighed down with evil too. You know, all these different frequencies in your house, frequencies outside your house, that's just beating you down. When do you have time to rest? So that's why Hamashiach took him out of the city. Okay? So you have to look at that too when it comes to anxiety. You know, some of the anxiety that our people have is because of their environment. They've been brought up in that environment to stress over certain things. So your environment has a lot to do with it too. Okay? So let's go to Mark chapter 9, verse 17. Mark chapter 9, verse 17. And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. All right, which have a dumb spirit. So let's analyze what dumb spirit means. What does dumb spirit mean? Okay, dumb spirit means an unclean spirit. The medical terminology, they call it a cell wall rigid. That's the medical term. They call it a cell wall, like your membranes inside your body. Your cell wall rigid. It causes the body to dry up, which causes you to act where you can't hear or listen, whatever that means, right? It also means to be a mute, unable to talk. So a dumb spirit is really a mute. There's a spirit that's causing this person, that's blocking the way of his vocal cords from speaking. It's a mute, or a demon, okay, or a spirit. So these disciples were not doing well. Let's read this. Let's read this. It says, and wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him. And he formeth and gnasheth with his teeth, and pineth away. And I spoke to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. So right here is telling you that this is not a condition. This is a demon in this individual. The first one that we read about, that was a condition. You know, about the blindness. That was a condition. This right here is a demon. This is from sin. All right? Verse 19. Because it tells you right here, it says, I spoke to the disciples that they should cast him out. Cast who out? The demon. And they could not. So why couldn't they cast him out? Let's read on. He answered him and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me. And they brought him unto him. And when he saw him straightway, the spirit tore him. And he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming. And he asked his father, how long is it ago since this came unto him? So he's saying, how long has the spirit jumped on your son? Meaning this son that was sinning, or his father was probably sinning, because the father is the responsible of the son if he's underage. Remember, the age of responsibility for a young man is what age? What is the age of responsibility for a young man? Anybody know? Anybody take a poke at it? The age of responsibility is 20 years old. All right, we go into the book of Numbers. It talks about when can a young man go to war? When he's 20 years old. We'll get into that another day. Okay. Verse 21. And he asked his father, how long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, of a child. Because you remember when King David, when it says child, remember King David slew Goliath? He didn't have a beard on his face, but he was old enough to fight. All right? He was still a young man. Verse 22. And oftentimes it hath cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. Yahushua said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. And straightway the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Hamashiach, I believe. Help thy mine unbelief. So this child wanted to be healed. This is why this child got healed. Okay? So we have to pray the same prayer. When we pray at night, not only do we have to pray for peaceful dreams or for our families, but you also have to pray, help me with my unbelief. You have to say that. Most High, help me with my unbelief. Because your unbelief will cause you to fall a lot throughout life. Okay? You'll be second guessing yourself all the time. This is verse 25. When Yahushua saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him. So he charged the spirit. Basically, he came like the police. He said, I'm going to charge you for being in this man, and enter no more into him. And the spirit cried, and rent him sore, and came out of him. And he was as one dead, insomuch that many said, he is dead. Because this thing beat him up so bad, you know, demons tired you out. You know, demons will tire you out. You get around certain people, they just got a wicked spirit, they'll wear you down. You know, that's why when we go out there and we speak, we have strong spirits to go out there, but those demons will even wear down the strong. Okay? Somebody has something to say? Okay. Verse 27. But Yahushua took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he was come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, why could not we cast him out? So they're asking him why they couldn't. Okay? And it says, and he said unto them, this kind of spirit, basically, can come forth by nothing, but by what? Prayer and fasting. This is why they couldn't get him out. So you would think, okay, these disciples, they follow Hamashiach. They should be praying and fasting. They should have knew that, right? How come they didn't know that? How come they didn't know that? So these disciples were not doing one or the other, meaning neither praying nor fasting. And I can prove that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 9. Let's find out. This is why they could not lift that spirit out of this young man. Matthew chapter 9, verse 14. And it says, "Then came to him the disciples of John," who's John? John the Baptist, "saying, Why do we and the Pharisees fast often, but thy disciples fast not?" See, John the Baptist still has people following him, and the Pharisees. And they was like, "How come your disciples, we don't never see them fasting?" Because they went to the temple. Verse 15. "And Yahushua said unto them, Can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken from them, and then shall they fast." So he was telling them, look, as long as I'm here, they don't have to fast. They still students of mine. I'm still teaching them. They don't know nothing yet. Look at this parable, the next verse. It says, "No man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment." So they still was in an evil state, even though they was following Hamashiach. That's why they couldn't believe. They still were carnal men. They hadn't gave up the old men yet. So that's why he said, "No man putteth a piece of new cloth." You get a new garment, or you get an old garment, you take a new piece of cloth and put it on it. Like some brothers buy fringes and put it on an old shirt. You know, you buy new fringes and you put it on an old shirt. No, get a new shirt and put new fringes on it. Don't get an old garment and put new fringes on it. Okay? This is for that which is put in to fill it up, taken from the garment. And the rent is made worse. So now it's made worse. That shirt is terrible. You got this old shirt with new garment, with new fringes on it. So it's the same way with these people's minds and spirits. Okay? These disciples, they were still in the old. That's why he was like, they're not ready to fast. They're not ready to pray. They hadn't got it yet. I'm just going to let them watch me until I build them up. And once I build them up and they figure out, hey man, this is the truth, they're going to want to renew their spirits. They're going to start changing. So they haven't really changed yet. They were trying to learn. You see? That's why it's put in here, so for our learning. You know what I mean? So he was still teaching them. That's why they didn't get understanding until Acts, when they were alone and had to believe on the Spirit. This was their problem. They didn't know how to pray, nor fast, or couldn't even cast out the demons in the book of Mark. You know? So anytime a Christian say, "Oh, this works only by prayer and fasting," no, you got to first change your mind and your body first. You got to change. You ain't going to help nobody. You go pray over somebody all you want. You see people going in the hospitals praying over others when they still in the old state. They still that old person. You know what I mean? They got to change themselves first. That's why it said in Matthew 7, pull out the tree or the branch out of your own eye before you can help your brother. You know? You got to change yourself first before you can help somebody else. All right? So when you fast, then begin eating. Going back to how to heal yourself, you gotta eat herbs to heal your condition. Herbs like herbs of the earth. Because most I remember in Genesis chapter 1, the herbs that help us are like I name a few: turmeric, cumin, cayenne pepper, garlic. You got several different types of herbs in the earth that can help us. Spearmint, different types of herbs. They're all out there. Paprika, but their uses. But there used to be doctors that believed they used to help our people. But now we don't have no doctors that help our people. Let's go to the Apocrypha. They call them witch doctors now, but back then, you could go to like a herbalist, and the herbalist would tell you exactly what to take, instead of taking all this medicine. There's still a few herbalists. I met a woman out in San Jose. She was from the tribe of Gad, and very, very intelligent. She knew the herbs, and she helped save many people, okay, based on getting rid of the old stuff that damaged their body, like flour and cornmeal and stuff like that hurt their bodies. Bread, ketchup, hot sauce, all of that stuff was hurting certain people's body and had cancer. She went in there and just took everything out of the house. And said, okay, you're going to eat only this. Basically what she was doing, she didn't know, she was following the scriptures. She made that person remove everything that the body was accustomed to, sugar, salt, and then gave them a whole new dietary law. All right? And that's how we got to be when it comes to healing our bodies, healing our family the same way. But let's go to Sirach chapter 38. And let's go to verse 4. Sirach chapter 38, verse 4. It says, the Most High created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not hate them, will not abhor them. Okay? So we got to understand how the Most High is working. Everything that you see on the countertop in the hospitals are not going to heal you, including some of their vitamins. Not going to heal you. Okay? There's a lot of their vitamins they're putting shellfish in, they're putting pig pieces in there. You know, they're putting all these different things in there that could actually harm you. So you have to look at that stuff very carefully. If you're taking vitamins, try to get natural vitamins without egg yolk, shellfish, all that stuff. You know, animal products. All right, let's go down to verse 9. It says, my son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Most High, and he will make thee whole. So not only do you have to watch what you eat, you have to also pray. Like Hamashiach told the disciples, you got to pray and fast. Okay? So when you look at that parable that I showed you with Hamashiach, when he healed that man that was blind and he pulled him out of the city, that meant that he was always prayed up. He was always fasting. He was always ready. He was walking Ephesians 6 and 11. He had the armor on him at all times. He was always praying and fasting. He probably was very thin. Well, the scriptures tell you that he was kind of muscle bound. He had a lot of muscles. But he ate the right foods. Okay? So let's go to the same verse. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Most High, and he will make thee whole. Leave off from sin, and order thy hands aright, and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness. See, that's what we got to do. Let's go to verse 15. It says, he that sinneth before his maker, when you sin, this is what happens. Whether it be before you get into the truth or after the truth. Some of us come into the truth, and the sin that we had before, we already had the body get damaged. So then you, like, if you smoke for 20 years, and your lungs is already damaged, then you come into the truth. Don't expect your lungs to heal just like that. You might have to go back and revisit the physician based on that alone. Okay? Like I said, this is verse 15. He that sinneth before his maker, let him fall into the hand of the physician. Okay? So, I mean, you know, you come into the truth, that's one thing. But if your body is already, that's why it's good to teach your children at an early age. Because if you teach them at an early age, when they come into the truth, they won't have all these problems like some of us coming out of the world. Okay? It'll be easier for them to transition. Their bodies will last longer, they'll live longer if they follow the laws, statutes, commandments. That's why it says teach your children. You got something to say out? Hold on, Mike. Can you say that?
Verse 15 up to 38 and 12. Verse 12, 38, 12. Because you know, sometimes you hear some other religion knowing that they kids get sick. Well, they might have asthma or something like that, and they'll be like, no, I don't want my kids to take asthma, take certain medicine. You know,
right.
You have to be smart about that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah, I was going to touch on that.
You come into it and people are like, no, that is what they'll, you know, he'll be okay. But this verse proves it more time.
Right. I was going to bring that out. I was just kind of dancing around to bring out the right scriptures for this particular class. So, yeah, I was going to touch. Yeah, I was going to touch on it. So we got to understand. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So what we have to do is understand how the Most High deals with our people. So let's go up to chapter 38, verse 1. Let's start with the first verse. And this is what the brother was saying. So I'm trying to give you an understanding before you get into all this. Can the Most High heal your body? Yes, He can. It's based on what? Your faith. All right? It's based on your faith. And if you're already caught up in a lot of these diseases where your body depends on this stuff, sometimes you might have to take the medicine. So I'm going to read verse 38:1. It says, honor a physician with the honor. Do unto him for the uses which may have of him. For the Most High hath created him. For the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. Now, this is twofold. Because back in those days, we had brothers who were doctors, and they weren't very rich either. All right, mind you. They didn't take their hand out for everything they did when it came to helping their people. But back then, these men believed, these physicians believed in the Most High. Now we got physicians that don't believe in the Most High. That's why I went to verse 15. If you sin, you fall into the hands of the physician. You go out there and you sleep with 20 women prostitutes, and they all got diseases. You gonna go to the hospital because you've been sleeping around, right? And that disease is gonna leap on you, and you knew that you wasn't supposed to be with them, but the Most High allowed this curse to fall upon you. So now you got to run to the physician. Okay? We're going back, verse 3, it says, the skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be admiration. So some physicians will be blessed based on helping you. It says, the Most High created medicines out of the earth. We read that. I'm going to go to verse 12. Let's jump down to the brother saying. It says, then give place to the physician, for the Most High hath created him. Let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him. So some of you need a little more. All right? Like I said, some brothers don't know, even though the scriptures is laid out, like in Leviticus chapter 11, what to eat and what not to eat, some of you still need guidance. Some of you still got to find a dietitian to show you what to eat and what not to eat. All right? Some of you still need guidance. So that's what this is speaking about. You may still have to get on some form of medicine. Like, for example, if you're taking high blood pressure medication, don't just stop taking it and be like, the Most High going to heal me. Because you know what? Your body is now used to taking that drug. But you stop taking that drug, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a stroke, a heart attack. But if the doctor tells you to take this medicine and you never took it, you still got hope. You can take certain vitamins that actually decrease your blood pressure. Or you look at your state of mind. You look at where you are. If that environment is harming you, causing your stress to go up, get out of that environment. See, you gotta be smart and use wisdom when dealing with physicians. But I guarantee you, if you're taking that medicine for high blood pressure and you've been taking it for 10 years, don't stop taking it because you will have a stroke once your stress peaks. Okay? Verse 13. There is a time when in their hands there is good success, for they shall also pray unto the Most High. So this is when the doctors of Israel were actually praying to the Most High as well. So these doctors today, they don't care nothing about you. They want to kill you. They want to kill you. They want you to take medicine. They want you to go through surgery. That's why you got to use your discretion before you do it. Okay? If it's worth it or not. If it's life-threatening, then you probably need to do it. If it's not life-threatening and you have other options, don't do it. Okay? So, just so you understand. So there's no confusion there. Let's go to Psalms chapter 103, verse 3. And again, like I said, this is why it's good to teach your children before they get into these problems of anxiety. And, a lot of the stuff comes when children become teenagers. Anxiety and the depression and, not getting a job. And, that's when that stuff starts to hit. When they got to raise a family, when they can't support themselves, that's when you start getting it. When you're going through a divorce and you ain't never been in your home, that's when that stuff comes. So you have to know how to cope with it using the scriptures. This is Psalms 103, verse 3. Psalms 103, verse 3. Who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercy. So the Most High can heal you. You just got to walk the walk and do it correctly. You got to know how to do it. Okay? Let's go to Job chapter 33 and 23. For example, if your auntie, your older auntie, chokes on a chicken bone, nothing's wrong with her. She chokes on a chicken bone, she goes into the hospital, she's in cardiac arrest. She's in a coma. Can you go in there and pray over her? That the Most High have mercy on her for her to come out of it? Of course, it happens. Things like that happen. You know, your prayer might be the very prayer that heals her. So yeah, you got to use good discretion. I want to go to Job chapter 33. We're almost done here. Job 33. Job chapter 33, verse 23. If there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one among 1,000, to show unto man his uprightness, then he is gracious unto him, and said, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. His flesh shall be fresher than a child's. He shall return to the days of his youth. So what is this talking about? When a man comes into the truth, when you keep a man away from harming himself, when you teach him about the ways of the Most High, his body will be renewed. That's why it says, his flesh shall be fresher than a child's. You ever see how fresh a child's flesh is? Brand new flesh. It says, he shall return to the days of his youth. He shall pray unto the Most High, and he will be favorable unto him. The Most High could do things like add another 20 years to your life if you're about to die. Add 15 more. He did that to one of the kings in Israel. He added 15 more. It says in the scriptures, he added 15 more years to one of the king's lives. So you can do that, even when you're on your deathbed. It says, he shall pray unto the Most High, and he will be favorable unto him. And he shall see his face with joy, for he will render unto man his righteousness. Okay? So we got to understand how the Most High works. This is verse 27. He looketh upon men, and if any say, I have sinned, and perverted that which was right, and it profited me not. So you got to acknowledge your sin. He will deliver his soul from going into the pit, and his life shall see light, see the light. Okay? So it is possible. It happened in the book of 2 Kings with Naaman, and this dude had attitude. You see a lot of brothers, they got attitude. When you don't do something right, they just got a bad attitude, right? Look at this verse. 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 9. 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 9. I'll start at 8. It says, and it was so when Elisha, the man of the Most High, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. Okay? So this is Elisha. Elisha followed, he was a prodigy of Elijah. So he was doing the same things Elijah was doing, healing people, raising them from the dead. Elisha's body prophesied even when he had died and was in his grave. They actually let down another dead body and they laid it on his body by accident. And the dead body came to life because it touched Elisha, the prophet's body. So even in his death, his body was still prophesying. You know? So Yahushua was the first one to bring people to life. You had Elijah, you had Elisha. All right, this stuff was happening. That's the belief of a man. It's the belief of a woman. Of the Most High. Okay, verse 9. So Naaman came with his horses and with chariot and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. This is the king now. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, go and wash in Jordan 7 times. Elisha, he didn't even go talk to this man. This dude came to his door. came to his house. He stood at his door in front of his house. He didn't even open the door for his king. He said, Elisha sent him. He sent his servant to go. He probably was studying the Most High's word. I ain't got time to talk to that dude. I'm studying the Most High word. You know, I ain't got, so what, you the king? I'm studying this word. And Elisha sent the messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. Because Naaman was a leper. His whole flesh had turned to leprosy. All right? But Naaman was wroth, meaning he was angry because Elisha didn't come to the door. He was mad. He had attitude. And he went away and said, Behold, I thought he would surely come to see me and stand and call on the name of the Most High, his power, and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. See? He was like, man, I thought this man was a man of the Most High. I thought he was going to come to the door and talk to me like a man. You know? Elisha was like, man, I'm handling the Most High's work. I ain't got time for that. It's verse 12. Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them? So he was like, there's other rivers out there I can wash in. Why got to wash in this dirty lake? He says, may I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in rage. He was upset. It was like he was a slap in the face. He's a king. You want to go wash in dirty water? Verse 13. And the servants came near and spoke unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldst thou not have done it? So he said, man, you better go do what that prophet said. So how much rather than when he said to thee, wash and be clean? Then Naaman went he down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan, according to the saying of the man of the Most High. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. And he returned to the man of the Most High. So the Most High had mercy on him in the hill, despite his attitude. This man didn't even follow through what the prophet said. He had unbelief. He went home. He's like, man, I'm not going and dipping in that dirty water. Okay? That's most of our people today. All right? Verse 15. And he returned to the man of the Most High, he and all his company. You got to believe, see? There's brothers in the street that don't even believe. You tell them, man, go do this. They ain't trying to listen to you, man. They don't sit there and laugh. Brothers in the truth. They don't have, many brothers have different measures of faith. Some brothers believe, some brothers don't. All right? It's just the way it is. You try to teach them, they don't want to hear it. You know? Now how do you get through? You can't get through to that person. That's just the way he is. Until affliction comes on, or she is. Okay? When the affliction comes, then they're looking for any outlet. They go to the physician can't help them, then they just in sorrowful state. They start praying to the Most High now. You know, oh, Most High, you know, it's too late. But see, sometimes you have to have that belief above belief. You know, our people got to understand, the Most High, he's faithful, man. If his word says that this stuff happened, it'll happen today. It's no difference. The power is still in the earth. There's a small remnant of this power still in the earth today. We just got to know how to tap into it by our faith and belief and doing what he says. All right? Verse 15. And he returned to the man of the Most High, he and all his company, and came and stood before him, and he said, Behold, now I know that there is no power in all earth but in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. But he said, As the Most High liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. So this prophet would not take his little charity, his money that he was trying to give him. So as I said, all money ain't good money, and the Most High ain't looking for no money. You don't want no money. He just wants you to be a faithful servant. That's all. You know, a lot of us I need money for this, I need money for that. Sometimes it's just for their carnal purposes. You know, that's why you got to check the sincerity of brothers. It's not about money. It's about your soul. All right? Let's go to Isaiah 13 and 9. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. Behold, the day of the Most High cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof utterly. So if you're a sinner, the Most High is going to kill you. He will destroy you down to your last. And like he said, he's a man of war. He got 1,000 ways to bring harm to you. Million ways. He got a million ways to break you. You know, he don't have to kill you. He can let you just live. Look how he do some of our people. Like Magic Johnson got AIDS. They say he healed now, but he's still living, still carrying that HIV virus with him. You know what I mean? If you don't have AIDS, he at least probably got HIV virus that's dormant. You know what I mean? You look at James Brown. Did he die a peaceful death? No, he died in pain. Red Fox died in pain. All these actors died in pain. You know what I mean? That's why I said, the Most High have a million ways to bring harm to you. You know, because he's a man of war. It's strategies. You got different strategies for this and for that. So if you don't change, you will not be resurrected. It's simple. You will not be resurrected. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 40, verse 5. You know, Apocrypha. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 40, verse 5. Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death, and anger and strife. And in the time of rest upon his bed, his night's sleep, do change his knowledge. A little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep. And in a day of keeping watch, trouble in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of a battle. This is a man that's in sin. When all is safe, he is awakened. It's safe, he's waking up. You know, you look at cats running from evil. They can't even sleep at night. Always looking over their shoulder. You know, oh, my car's still out there. Looking out the window, see if their car's still there. You know, just paranoid. Somebody gonna break into my car. That's a man. Even when it's peace, that man can't rest. Okay. When all is safe, he awaketh and marveleth that the fear was nothing. Such things happen to all flesh, both man and beast. You got beasts that are paranoid. You know, try to capture a dog that's wild, he try to bite you because he in fear of everything. The same thing with men. And that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and discourage. All of this is a form of anxiety too. That's why you have to change the way you think. Anxiety, bipolarism, all of this goes along with that. You know, just paranoid. You know what I mean? So you got to change the way you think. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. So this happened even in those days. All right? Let's go to Isaiah 26 and 19. Isaiah 26, verse 19. Thy dead men shall live, together with my dead body shall they rise. Awake and sing ye that dwell in the dust, for thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out of the dead. So these dead men, they're going to rise to what? To death. All right? They're going to rise to death during the resurrection day. Let's go to Matthew 5 and 28. So we got to change our ways. You know what I mean? This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 28. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her have committed adultery. This is not what I wanted. I wanted 28, 29. Okay, right here. Yeah, here we go. 29. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out, and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. The reason why I wanted to bring this out was because a lot of our brothers, they hang with other brothers that cause them to fall to the wayside. Sin comes in that way too. Like I said, your surroundings have a lot to do with it. Sometimes other men can cause you to be that paranoid schizophrenia type of person. By hanging around them, their spirit starts to fall on you. You start acting just like that person. That's why it says, and this is not talking about your eye, so don't pluck out your eye. This is talking about members. Yeah, some brothers pluck out their eye, man. You know, so I mean, I just want to be clear on that. Verse 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off. Don't cut off your right hand. It's talking about members of the body. And cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So this is, the whole body is Israel, right? The whole body is Israel. One member could cause the whole membership to go off. So you got to cut that member off if that person continually is coming and not correcting themselves, and you keep telling them to change themselves. Eventually you got to let that person go. Tell them stop coming around, you know, because it's hindering all the rest of the people in the organization. Let's go to John chapter 11, verse 25. So people can cause you to go off. They have these problems, schizophrenia and paranoia, you know, neighborhoods. You know, Esau can do it. You know, Esau can do it too. This is called the state of war. It's called shell shock syndrome. You know, you see Esau pull up in the cop car, you get shell shock syndrome. You know, you hit the brakes instead of going 20 miles per hour. You keep mashing on the brakes. You know, that's a signal. This is John chapter 11, verse 25. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. So we're going to rise to everlasting life if we keep the Most High's commandments. Okay? John 14 and 6. John chapter 14, verse 6. Yahushua saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. There it is again. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him. So he was telling the disciples, he was telling everybody. Like I was saying in the class of Mashiach Yahushua the other day. We know Yahushua because he is of the Father. Period. So when we see him, we see the Father. It's simple. He's going to do the same stuff that the Father wants him to do, and we need to follow him because he's going to lead us right to the Father. He's our right path, the straight path. Okay? So with that, I'm going to close out this Sabbath class. I want to just touch on that, on those medical issues that our people are having. There's many ways to change your life by dietary laws, by moral laws. You do these things and then you have faith on top of that, you believe that the Most High will heal you, he will heal you. It's just simple as that. And it's your measure of faith. Don't believe on what somebody else said. You try it. You know, if you're trying to look for a solution, this is the way. You know? So I mean, do it with wisdom and understanding. And the Most High will bless you. Does anybody need prayer today? Anybody need prayer on this day? Mention your name in the prayer. Okay. So if that's all, we'll go ahead and close out. We got camp today at 1 o'clock for those of you who are coming out to camp. We're going to be in Fruitvale today. Go ahead and stand and face the east. Maya Panya Hapulam. I'm sorry, camp is going to be at 1:30. I can 1:30. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of all our debtors, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever and ever. We give you all praise. Abanawa, Yahweh, Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Aman. With that, I'm going to say Shalom, Barak all.
This is the word of the Lord of hosts. I took you from the pastures and from following the sheep to be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone, and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.